Hello, welcome back to my channel that I still don't quite know what I'm going to do with it yet, but um, I'm here to yap a little bit, here to talk and talk about some things. So I don't drive my husband crazy, even though he still watches the videos, so he's still hearing all of it. Um, but he doesn't know whether he needs to just sit and listen or talk back, and I think that's probably helpful for him. And I don't drive my friends crazy. So the Tony nominations did come out earlier this week, and I am really excited for Floyd Collins and Jeremy Jordan and everybody in that production that got nominated, because I saw it in previews and it was lovely. It got nominated for lighting, I think, lighting design or something like that. I can't remember right off the top of my head, and I am not like a super big theater girly. Like, I don't know all the things. I wish I knew all the things, but I'm just now getting back into the theater world, so bear with me. I can't remember exactly what it is, but the lighting design was phenomenal in Floyd Collins. It was so beautiful, and honestly, like, the performances were great. The songs were great. The actors, they were all wonderful, and they were fabulous. But that lighting design really just took it to the next level for me. I came away talking about that with everybody, about how beautiful the lighting design and stuff for that show was. And I'm glad they got nominated for that. And of course, I'm glad Jeremy Jordan was nominated. So here's hoping that Jeremy Jordan finally gets his Tony Award, and hopefully Floyd Collins gets recognized in all the categories it got nominated for. So that's exciting. Also, kind of wanted to talk a little bit about why I've decided to kind of do this. Like, I have gotten really active on TikTok again, and I've gotten really active, less active, but more active on Instagram. And I've started for like the fourth or fifth time a YouTube channel, trying to make something creative and something for me that I'm doing that is for me and not solely for my husband or for my children. And I like to be creative. So this kind of gives me an outlet. Like, I get to edit videos. I don't do a lot of editing because, like, I'm just sitting here talking to you guys. But I get to upload like shorts and stuff that I make that are just fun. And something I've really been trying to do is not let everybody else's opinion of me dampen me doing the things I enjoy doing. For a long time, I cared a lot, and I still care a lot about what other people think about me and how I'm perceived. And if, it's weird and people are going to talk about me because it's weird what I'm doing. And that is something that I'm slowly starting to get over. It is something that I'm still constantly working on. And like with my friends and family, it is still something that is pretty hard, if I'm honest, to not care about the things they think. And that's not to say that I should never take their criticism into account, because, like, obviously they care about me, they love me. I should listen to them when they're like, hey, maybe don't do that. Hey, maybe you're sharing too much on the internet. Like, all those things are probably valid things to be considered. But basically, I've been trying to do more things that I think are fun for me without caring what everybody else is going to think. Because at the end of the day, if I'm doing things that are not wrong, and not sinful and not going to get me in jail or hurt my family in any way, then, like, who cares if they think I'm weird or stupid? But trying to get back to where I like who I am and I'm not just what everybody else wants me to be, and just really being comfortable that I'm a little goofy sometimes, and that I enjoy doing like silly things, to be able to talk about them later, and just because I want to be able to do them. Like, it's something that I realized was really missing from my life, was just really letting everybody dictate what I was doing and how I would do it, and caring about how others perceived me. And while I'm not saying we should just never care what people think about us, there are times, like I said previously that it is constructive to hear some feedback. It at the same time can't do what it's been doing to me and just stop me from enjoying my life. So that's really been my focus the past little while, and that's came with like obviously some growing pains. Like part of that is part of what's encompassed in that and enjoying, you know, what you enjoy is also when people give you a hard time just to be funny, that you stand up and say, hey, like, I don't think that's funny. Can you please stop saying that? Or just really learning to enforce boundaries where boundaries need to be enforced and placed, and learning that it's okay to say, hey, you can't talk to me that way. And that, you know, this hurts my feelings. It's okay to have these conversations, and there's a way to have them in a mature and constructive way. And I'm trying to learn that, like how to not just avoid because I'm scared this person won't be my friend anymore because I'm 31 years old. Like, it's silly to think that way. But also I need to be teaching my kids, like, it's okay to tell your friends, like, hey, that hurts my feelings. Can you please stop that? And they need to see that modeled and how to handle that, and how to handle when somebody, you know, thinks it's silly that it's hurting your feelings, or don't think they did anything wrong. And so, you know, they're not going to apologize, and like teaching them how to handle that. And like, you hope the other adult is also an adult and will say, hey, you know, I hear you and I'm sorry. That was not my intention to hurt you, and I will stop that. You really hope that the other adults you're dealing with will model a good model of how to do this, and you don't have to teach your kids how to deal with people who don't respect you and your feelings. And unfortunately, I think it is a lot of the bad examples that tend to happen. But, you know, it's my goal to teach my kids that it is fine to be fun and goofy and silly in the right context. Like, obviously there are times where it's not okay to let loose and be completely silly and things like that. And I want to teach them what it's like to do those things in the appropriate way, and teach them, you know, when it's not appropriate to act this way. And it's something that, like, I was always just kind of told to stop doing whatever I was doing because it embarrassed my parents. And that's, you know, the way they parented me. And one reason I probably have all these insecurities in wanting to just do fun things, and them just telling me that, like, I'm not good enough to do these things, and constantly telling me to be better, and just taking the joy out of just having fun, out of a lot of things. And I've seen that in my parenting in the past, and I'm trying to correct that with my kids. And I don't want to do that with them and take the joy out of things for them. And that is something that I desperately am trying to make sure I don't repeat in my parenting of my children. And like, part of that entails and I think a lot of where this kind of comes in is just the feeling of not being good enough, and like, why am I wasting my time doing this thing that is fun for me if I'm not going to profit off it in some way in the future? Like, I think we should be training our kids to have a good job where they, you know, can provide for their family and for themselves. But also, we should all have something that's just for fun. And that's what I'm trying to learn now, and trying to, like, not just intellectually know, but like put into practice, and just do the fun things and be goofy and be silly and be a little cringy. Like, you know, do I think I'm going to become do I think I'm going to become a professional YouTuber? No. Do I think I'm going to make money off of this or TikTok? No. And that's not my goal. Would it be nice? Sure, it would be nice. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? But it is something I enjoy doing, putting myself out there and being silly and a little cringy and goofy and poking fun at myself, and talking to other people online that have similar interests to me. Like, I really enjoy that. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't serve a purpose monetarily, because it's just something I enjoy. It's just something that's fun. And I am a big believer that we should all be doing those things. Like, and I think it starts really young. We start with kids. At least it started for me really young, playing sports. And immediately my parents, when they saw that I was okay at sports, I was pretty good at softball. And them putting a lot of pressure on me to go to college and pay for my college by being good at softball and all these different things. Like, while it's great that like I had role models that I looked up to in the professional softball world, I never really wanted to do that in any kind of professional capacity. And my parents really, really pushed that until it was not fun for me anymore. We would practice all the time, and if we didn't practice, I was constantly being told, well, you're never going to amount to anything in softball if you don't practice. When I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to go to practice and practice at practice, come home and rest. Like, I was never necessarily good enough, I don't think, to go and play at a college level. Maybe I could have been. Both of my sisters were certainly good enough to do that. So, like, odds are, if I would have put in the work or played through high school, instead of quitting in ninth grade, like, I probably could have been good enough to go and play. I don't know. But the fun of it for me was taken out of it. And that made it to where I didn't want to do it. And then my parents were like, it was all business for them. And that's wonderful. They wanted me to amount to something and something that I liked. But my true passion was always like musical theater and music and playing the piano and singing. I wanted to be a music teacher. That's what I wanted to be. And I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed working hard at that, but was told no, that it wouldn't, in their eyes, amount to anything because I just was not good enough. But I also didn't have the training a lot of other people had. Had I had that training, who knows what would have happened. But we're here now. We're here living the life I'm living. It's not worth really thinking about. But like, that is something I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to be like, you know what? I'm not a super like big theater girly, but I don't mind yapping with y'all about the Tony nominations that have happened, or talking about my favorite musicals with somebody. And like, that's the music I like to listen to. I like to listen to shows. And like, I like to take voice lessons, and I like teaching piano. Those are the things I enjoy doing, and they don't always have a monetary gain, but it is something that I enjoy and I love and I want to get better at, because I just want to for myself. And I like being goofy. I like making videos. I like pretending I'm a content creator. Like, these are things I really like doing, and I'm trying to drill the thought out of my head that unless there's a monetary tie to this fulfilling me in some way monetarily, that it's not worth it. It's not worth it unless there are dollar signs attached to it. And, you know, that's just not the case. Like, can I let these things consume my life and like overtake things that do give me monetary gain to my job? Not that I have a job. I'm a stay-at-home wife and mom, but like, if this were to overtake me taking care of my children and my house and my husband and loving them the appropriate way, like, yes, that would be wrong. But there is a place for things that just bring you joy and bring you happiness, and there's a way to enjoy things that don't always bring you money. So all that to say that I'm really working on trying to just enjoy being goofy. Like, I enjoy being silly, and like, I'm serious a lot of the time, but like, I do enjoy a good time. I enjoy a good laugh. I enjoy a good cringy moment. So that is kind of the goal of this channel and my TikTok and my Instagram, is just to enjoy creating and enjoy living my life with my family without feeling like, because I'm enjoying something and it is not bringing money into my family, that it doesn't mean that what I'm doing, it doesn't have value, and that I can't have fun because it's not tied to money. And I think that's just a culture that has creeped in, and I think we all suffer from it a little bit, but I especially do. And I want to enjoy doing things and not caring what other people think, and just embracing that, like, I do have like a somewhat goofy personality. It's a lot more almost satirical, maybe. I don't think that's the word I'm looking for, but like I do have like a very sarcastic side of me that, like, I do try to control. That one I do use inappropriately sometimes, but like I do have the ability to stand up for myself. I do have the ability to enjoy things that I enjoy, and I have the right to tell people, hey, I don't want you making fun of me for that. If you're my friend, like, please stop. Don't give me a hard time about this. It is something that's close to me, and it's very vulnerable, and it's very fragile, and I'm still in a place where I can't handle the poking fun at me over these things. And you know what? I might not be good at a lot of these things, and that's fine too. I'm learning and I'm having a good time, and that's what matters. Like, I don't need to be as good as somebody else next to me, or I don't need them to validate me by telling me I'm good. And I certainly don't need people being like, you're really bad at this. Why do you bother doing it? I don't know, Karen. Maybe because I enjoy it. That's why. That's why I'm doing it. So, all that to say that that is my goal with this channel and my TikTok, is to have fun and allow myself to have a good time and to have fun and to enjoy this life that I've been given, and enjoy it in a way that allows me to be creative and to have fun and not to care about what other people think. So, with all that said, thank you for hanging out with me and yapping with me today. I don't think this will be a super long video, but I do have a vlog coming, and I do have a TikTok and an Instagram you can check out, and come have fun with me over there and cringe at me doing all the cringy things and doing all the silly things. And I hope you hang around and help me rediscover myself and my personality that I've allowed others to silence, and I've silenced myself through all of my negative talk. So I hope you will join me on this crazy ride, and come back for next Friday and yap with me some more.